Deadpan Love is the debut album from Cautious Clay, who I'm very happy to have back on the program. Sir, how are you?
Good, good. It's been some time. Just been hanging there, working, doing a lot of shows actually, the last couple of weeks with the album, and yeah, can't complain. I just been like really putting a lot of work on like the live elements, and just got back from a little vacation too, so that was nice. Just visiting some family in Seattle, so feeling refreshed.
I wasn't able to see the stream of the Lollapalooza set that you did, so I'm very curious from an artist point of view, performer point of view, how that went, and also as a general human being point of view, milling around, what was that feeling like?
Yeah, man, it was great. I mean, I feel like obviously the elements of like COVID sort of coming back a little bit was a little weird, but I think we were all like careful and whatnot, and um, I'm very much vaccinated and whatnot, so that was good. But like from the show perspective, it was a lot of fun. We spent about, I don't know, 70 hours, like 10-hour days, like really going very into the live set before we played Lollapalooza. So it was like I felt very prepared, and I think the band felt really prepared. Playing live is actually very fun for me, and I think I realized it after we'd prepared the set. But I also feel like as a performer, I'm very much comfortable like as a musician, and then like as a performer, almost like as an entertainer, it's a very another level for me. And so like that's when rehearsals really kick in for me to like to kind of like get back into the swing of things, and I think that really helped me with this preparation for Lollapalooza, and just like playing all of the songs from the new album, and or not all of them but a few of them. And then we had Saba as well join me as a special guest on both sets. We played two shows at Lollapalooza. We played like a night set and then like a bigger day show, and yeah, so it was cool to be able to like play a lot of those songs for the first time, and really like get the crowd reaction, and it was really special.
That was the first major US festival, and there was such a buildup leading up to it. And then as things changed rapidly in the US with regards to Delta and so forth, there was a lot of concern. So that's why I asked that question. Were you just chomping at the bit in preparation for that set? I can imagine as an artist, it's so, I don't know, there are different facets and feelings that you get when you perform, and that high that you get in terms of the reception. You get off stage and you come down off of that high. And then without having those moments over the course of 18 months, that must have done something to your psyche. And there must have been a way, or you're searching for a way to fill that void of feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it to be honest, like I very much am content kind of like making my music and just like doing that. And then playing live is actually very fun for me. And I think I realized it after we'd prepared the set. But I also feel like as a performer, I'm very much comfortable like as a musician, and then like as a performer, almost like as an entertainer, it's a very another level for me.
So I'm very curious. You are able to separate those moments in terms of the adulation, the overall vibe, in terms of the high that I referenced that you get on stage.
Yeah.
And then you also have moments as Josh. How does Josh find and feel those feelings of joy and that high? I don't know how to describe it. How do you describe that high that you get when you're on stage? And then how do you replace that, I guess,
I
when
feel
you're
like
not cautious clay?
feeling on stage is something that I love, but I also don't depend on, because I know that, yeah, I think like I love to have fans, and I love that I have fans, and I feel very fortunate to be in a situation where I can like play to thousands of people and have everybody know the songs and all of that. But to me, like the music and like my ability to express myself are the only things that I can truly rely on, because I think the music industry is so fickle, and things change, and I'm very much invested in like being a long-term artist.
You don't come across as someone with an addictive personality, so the answer is not surprising to me.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if you were younger, it's easy to latch on to the adulation and, let's be honest, the approval of fans, and you just get really addicted to that as human beings. And so to have that level of balance to be able to handle that is actually something. So what do you attribute to that? Do you think it's because of the strong familial relationships that you have, going through the ups and downs of what you've been through in life in various professions?
I think that has something to do with it. Like the fact that I did work like a regular day job and sort of saw a lot of different types of people. But I also feel as though like my mom was a huge person in my life that just sort of centered me around the things that matter in her life. And then like, I guess what ended up mattering in my life is just like, yeah, the people that you surround yourself with are just like the most important thing and determine so much. Like I feel like I have a really rock solid foundation, I guess, you know. I think that's really just helped me.
And I think it certainly helped you to approach this album with a little bit of direction and clarity in what you want to say. And congrats on this release. It's fantastic. I'm sure you've heard everybody say, "Oh my God, it's so wonderful." The people maybe that are a little closer to you that might have been a little more critical and be like, "Well, this one was okay. I like this one, but this one was okay."
Yeah.
How have you been able to absorb those accolades, the critical words, and those kind of things because of the fact that you're really sharing a lot of yourself on this album?
Yeah. No, I it was a lot for sure. I mean, I definitely um wanted this album to have elements of different songs and different perspectives that could be shared for people, variety of different people. And so like, I don't know. I think we're not all like a singular personality. We have so many different ways that we present ourselves. And so as do I. So I think I just wanted to like, yeah, like I feel like there's elements of the album that are like have a little bit more of a bravado to them, like songs like Strange Love or like, you know, um Box of Bones, but then there's some more like intrinsic kind of internal songs that are like a little bit more like vulnerable in the conventional sense. And so I wanted to just kind of highlight the multiplicity of like the relationships that I hold and just like the way that I choose to identify myself in the relationship.
There were certain songs on this album that I really resonated. I felt for you as a listener, and I felt for the protagonist. I don't know if it's necessarily you, but there's a lot of situations dealing with love and the ups and downs of a relationship and so forth that a lot of people, I'm sure, also relate with. Is this recent love? Is this past love? How do you reconcile those feelings in terms of the uncertainty of that relationship or certain relationships?
Well, yeah, I think the music is the easiest form to do that, you know. So um I just try to paint a picture or like, yeah, like with the words that I use to describe that nuance of that, you know. And because like there's been millions of songs written about love, but I think like if you want to just make it interesting, you want to make it visual in how it comes to be, you know. And so yeah, with for example like a song like Roots, it's basically just about the toxic a toxic relationship, you know, and but like ignoring that it's toxic and fully leaning into that, because that's what people do. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to highlight, you know, the worst elements of people, even if it's like, because that's real, you know. It's not about like perfection. It's like trying to weave in those kind of ultimatums into the lyrics, or you know, there's something that's a little bit less dramatic, something like Dying in the Subtlety, where I mean that's a dramatic title, but it's like, you know, I start off like very much just in a time and place. You know, I can see your breath in the window, written I'm sorry. You're fogging up friendship. I don't want to say it back. It's like you can almost see someone looking through the pain and like they blow hot air on the glass and they just write something in there, you know? So it's just like I try to create these narratives out of experiences that I've had, or like real life scenarios, and try to give that I feel like gives depth to the complexity of those loving relationships or friendships.
I like how you're talking about dying in the subtlety, because the shout out or reference to Jason Statham is hilarious to me, because he's the anti-hero of sorts, right? And so are you an Expendables fan? Where does this reference come from? Did it come naturally to you? It's such a wise guy crack.
Yeah, to be honest, I was thinking about The Transporter when I wrote that
Oh,
movie. It was like with Jason Statham, and he's like, yeah, it could be easier to drive you back like I'm Jason Statham. But it could be that, like the Expendables, anything. He's always like this guy, yeah, like you're saying, the anti-hero. So it's like that's a very, very witty way to even look at it. Because yeah, he's sort of like someone you're rooting for, but you're also kind of like, I don't know, like there's something bad about this guy. So I think that's just like such a human experience, you know, like there's parts of, you know, your mom or your dad that you feel like, wow, there's something like when you see them as a human, you're like, wow, like they're very flawed and like I could resent them, but I also love them because they're my parents. So it's similar to that.
congrats on this album again. Absolutely fantastic. Can't wait to see you here in San Francisco in March. It's going to be an awesome time. Hopefully we can catch up in person.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm certainly, I don't know, like it's at the Fillmore again. So I love that venue. So definitely be around maybe after if COVID is still cool. I'd love
Oh
to.
man, please, please, no more.
No more.